The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. Get up to 1K in a deposit match when you sign Mark Fantasy with the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. It is currently Wednesday afternoon, July 30th, here to break down the Thursday games for July 31st. I'm your host, Reichel, once again joined by Dylan Rockford together. We're going to break down the games coming up for tomorrow. Spoiler, it's not going to take too long. We only have 3 games on the card for Thursday. A lot of baseball today, but there's a lot of day offs on the calendar for a bunch of teams in the league. 3 games, and we are missing lines on one of them. So, going to be a pretty short episode, but of course, we do have the last couple of days before the trade deadline, so there have been a couple moves already. We'll talk about it. Dylan, how's it going with you? What's up?
I'm doing well. Mets about to get swept. It was crazy. Ever since I tweeted Mets are back and they're on the 7-game win streak, they've lost 2-3 in a row now.
I did the prop show, though, and do you want to guess which guy I actually backed in that game?
For the Mets?
No, it was not for the Mets.
Cronenworth?
It was Manny Machado. Two
nice.
singles already. I had the bases.
Attaboy.
So,
did you sweep the pod?
It's too early to tell. I still have the White Sox game. I have some action, which does have a rain delay for, about 4 hours already.
Yeah, they said they're supposed to start at 5:45, it says.
Yeah, so I have action in that one. We'll see. And then I have action in the Guardians game, which is at 6:40. But I believe Adam swept, and I'm 1-0. So far can't complain, but Machado came through.
I'm surprised you didn't back Chris Paddock in his debut in Detroit. What a game.
I did not, because I know Adam did. Adam liked his over-outs, and we try not to take the same players. We try to branch out to give a bit more content. So Adam said he liked Paddock, so I let him have it, and I took some other guys.
I was surprised he pitched that well, if I'm being honest. I'm really not a big Chris Paddock fan, but 6 innings, only 3 hits, one run, giving up 5K. He didn't walk a batter either. And, say what you want about the Diamondbacks. They're a pretty good hitting team, so I was surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I was really not that surprised, because Arizona, I think, over the last week has basically waved the flag on the season.
Yeah,
and
true.
Once they traded Naylor, and you knew from the front office that the season was over, I was kind of expecting them and the Braves to roll over. Braves lost 1-0 in extras today. I know Acuna got hurt, which didn't help.
Yeah.
But I felt like the teams that officially announced that they were going to blow up the roster after having drastically underwhelming results so far in the first half plus of the season, I kind of thought immediately they'd roll over.
Yeah.
And both those teams have rolled over. So Arizona was a team that I was not really thrilled with. They scored 1 run in the entire series against Pittsburgh. Then they showed up for this series. They got blasted in every game. So I was not as surprised. I was surprised Paddock went 6 innings. But I'm not surprised he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Because Arizona right now can't hit anybody.
Maybe the change of scenery will be good for him. I was actually surprised you guys meaning the Yankees traded for Austin Slater. I mean, he's not having the best year, but he is good against left-handed pitchers, which I think that's why you got him for, especially with Judge being out. But what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought in general it was a move that didn't move me at all. Cashman always does this. I know that they got Rosario a couple days ago as well.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to dumpster dive, and if the player stinks, then whatever. You didn't give up much for them. If they're good, he gets to pretend that he's smart for a week, and Yankees fans kind of fall for it. For example, the McMahon move that they made, he's looked good with the Yankees. They gave up basically nothing to get him, and he's looked very solid fielding-wise at third base. He's had a couple good at-bats as well so far. He hasn't hit his first home run with the Yankees. It's fine, but he's been pretty effective. The point is that you make a move like that, and if the buy low guys hit, you get thought of more as being a smart, I'd say, front office guy, because you took a chance just by giving up nothing entirely. I know McMahon's a bit more proven. Slater's a guy who I've never really been a big fan of, because I've never thought about him much. I think he's an okay at best outfielder. They'll platoon him. But with Judge being out, Dominguez can't field. They really don't want Stan playing the field.
No, he's so slow.
Correct. But the point is you have a couple injured guys, or at least guys that can get injury prone with Stan and Judge on occasion. And Dominguez can field. So you have 3 outfielders who are basically DHs, because they said once Judge comes back, he's not going to be playing the field immediately. So you need somebody to play the outfield.
Yeah, I think he gives him a little depth. It gives him a little flexibility in the against left-handed pitchers as well. And he played 15 games in right field, 9 in left field. So we'll see how he does. I didn't think it really moved the needle all that much, if I'm being honest. I have to ask, and we talk about it, I think, every episode now, me and you. What is Anthony Volpe doing at shortstop? I mean, both. I didn't mind the last one where the first baseman should have scooped it, but that toss to Jazz was horrific.
He tried to get the force out at second. The timing was off. The shift doesn't help because Jazz
No.
has to roll over, like run over, and that wasn't exactly the smoothest type of play. I think he's an abysmal fielder. I think Volpe, I'm going to focus only on actually the last play because the other one is a shift, and that always gets a bit weird when the players
That's
are out of
fair.
position. He still should have made a better toss. But the last one was more concerning because that's the final out of the game. It's a basic ground ball to short. There's no rush at all.
Yeah.
You can time it out. And instead, he does this crow hop stutter step maneuver, which he's been doing constantly. He's clearly terrified to throw to first base. And his footwork, because of that, is very concerning. There's a lot of stutter stepping, and it feels like he tries to create some type of rhythm with his throws, which does not exist. And it completely sabotages the base for his actual fielding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my main concern. It's the actual stutter stepping, the footwork of the throws. And that's the one that's more concerning. Yes, Goldschmidt could have had it. You shouldn't be short hopping throws to first base on ground balls right to you.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. So Volpe's been a terrible fielder all year. You could argue he should be demoted for it. I know he had a home run yesterday,
but still,
the fielding speaks for itself. Like, he can't play shortstop, and he's number one in the league in errors.
It's at 15 now, right?
I believe it's at 15. Now, they got away with it because Williams struck out Aranda to end the game. But that's the final out of a pretty big division game.
Yeah.
You can't be giving that up in the ninth inning. That can't happen. So, either way, a point is Volpe can't field. He can't really hit either. But he had a home run yesterday. Yeah, the Yankees have fielding problems, but you know what? Toronto got swept by Baltimore. Or no, sorry, they won the game today. So
barely. They almost let that one go too.
Yeah, the point is the Yankees gained a game and a half yesterday in the standings because the Blue Jays lost twice and the Yankees won.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to be, I'd say, putting your closer through that, having to face another batter when he basically got you 4 outs.
Yeah,
that can't happen.
Devin Williams has been a little better though.
Yes, he has. He wasn't very good yesterday. He gave up a leadoff triple, and then it got a little bit dicey at the end. But either way, point is the Yankees ended up winning, but Volpe didn't help for the actual ninth inning.
I think the craziest thing, and maybe we could talk about the Mets, but you talk about a guy who should have a Gold Glove. Brian Hayes, man, I did not expect the Reds to go after him. They gave up Taylor Rogers and some prospect as well. So I thought that was a good move from the Reds. He's young. He's 28 years old. He's hitting 236, 2 home runs, 36 RBIs. In Cincinnati, they're just 3 games back of that NL wildcard spot. So, Pirates, they stink. It doesn't really matter. They're going to punt on the season. But I like the moves. I like the Reds being aggressive for once.
Yeah, so I like the move for the Reds. Hayes, I feel like in his career can be viewed as, if you want to say, an average to slightly below average hitter. You'd probably be right. He's really not a guy that's going to do much of the plate. He has a 236 batting average, 2 home runs, 36 RBIs. However,
Glove, though,
he is an elite fielding third baseman.
Yes.
And he showed that yesterday with the infield fly play against the Giants. Now, on a separate note, Ramos might be the dumbest base runner in the entire league for the Giants. And I'm sure you know about that because of what happened over the past couple of days against the Mets. But I do want to point out that Hayes is definitely an elite fielder. He might be the best fielding third baseman in the league.
Yeah.
He ruined the streak that Arenado had because he's that good defensively, and he got rewarded for it. He's a platinum caliber guy. Like, he's a really, really good defensive third baseman. Now, the question that I have for you, because I don't exactly know what his value is, right now he's on an 8-year, $70 million deal. So he's making about $7+ million moving forward. This year, he's only making, I believe it was like 2.2, I think. And then next year, it's up to 7. Then it goes up to 8 at some point, and then eventually 12 in 2030. But he's under contract, a pretty reasonable contract, getting paid less than $9 million every year until 2030. He's under contract for a long time.
Yeah.
He has another 4 years under contract. Then he has a club option in 2030. So the Reds have their third baseman for a long time.
Yeah.
The question that I have for you, I don't understand the trade package that the Pirates got in return. Now, I understand they wanted to move on. They didn't want to pay him. And I've said before, they are a very notoriously known cheap organization.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay anybody.
No.
But mentioning the actual trade and what they got, they ended up getting Taylor Rogers, who's a pretty good reliever, but he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Expiring contract, yeah.
Expiring contract. And they got a shortstop prospect who was not in the Reds' top 10 listed prospects. So I don't really get the return for the Pirates because Hayes is an elite defensive player who is basically a slightly below average bat.
Yeah.
You got an expiring contract reliever and a non-top 10 prospect from a division rival?
Yeah.
What kind of trade package is that?
It's a failed organization. Do you expect anything less from Pittsburgh?
I don't, but the fact is, usually you assume even if you are getting fleeced, you can provide a little bit of a tax in an in-division trade.
Yeah, I would agree, especially Brian Hayes, who, like you said, elite defender. Say what you want about his bat. You at least are trying to get a starter somewhere in the package.
In the actual lineup, just including fielding, he's one of their best position players.
Yeah.
So they got an expiring contract reliever. I don't mind Rogers. I know
he's not bad.
His brother got traded too, but
to the Mets, yeah.
He's an expiring contract. So they got him, and they also got a shortstop prospect who seems to be a bit more of a developmental option because he's not a top 10 ready-to-go player from the Reds organization.
Maybe they see something we don't in that shortstop, but
I just think they could have gotten more.
100% they could have gotten more. I just think they wanted to move on.
I think they did too, but I think the Hayes contract getting $7 or $8 million a year for the next 4 or 5 years is a pretty good deal.
100%.
And they just forfeited that for an expiring contract and a prospect. But they're the Pirates. They're unserious.
Yeah, they're unserious, and they don't care. And they don't care about winning, and it says it. It's evident.
No, they only care about making money. That's why they don't spend money.
Moving to the Cincinnati, though, real quick, back to them. I think they're adding a Gold Glove. You got Elliott short. I like Spencer Steer. I think he's a pretty good first baseman. You got Matt McClann at second. What are your thoughts on their infield in that NL Central?
So, whether or not you like Ellie, he's the face of the team.
He is.
You're not moving him.
No.
Like, that's your guy for a long time. I think Hayes at third could definitely be a solid option. I know that by comparison, we saw this with, not by comparison based on position, but for example, Andrew Vaughn with Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a change in scenery can go a long way.
Yeah.
And a guy can be terrible, borderline demotable, and then he gets put on an actual organization, and suddenly he figures it out. So the Reds look at it, and they see an elite defensive third baseman. Maybe the ballpark will help, but you're looking at maybe the developmental program that the Reds have, the hitting coach, etc. Maybe they can turn Hayes into even a league average hitter. That's fine. If you're a league average hitter and you're the best third baseman in the league defensively, you're going to be playing for a long time. Like that's no shame in that.
100%.
So I like the move there. I have issues with Steer and with McClain. I liked both guys in years past. This year, it just has not really panned out, especially for McClain. Mm-hmm. It's been a pretty rough go of it for McClain. I wonder what the move is moving forward with those two guys. I know they got, for example, Stevenson, and they also have Trevino as their catching platoon. I don't mind that either. I think those are pretty solid catching options.
Yeah.
The outfield, I think you could argue, is relatively weak.
Yes.
I know Benson's had an okay run recently. I'm really not a Benson guy, for example.
Gavin Lux,
Lux been, I'll put it this way. I was not a Lux fan in LA.
No.
He's been surprisingly decent or objectively good with this team. I didn't think he'd be this good with the Reds. So He's been an everyday caliber guy.
Yeah.
You get my point, though.
Yeah,
I feel like
mid.
they have a bunch of guys who you're kind of either lukewarm about or indifferent about, and that might be what they have to fix in the future. I like the move because they gave up nothing. They gave up an expiring contract reliever and a prospect who's not, in my opinion, highly valued in that organization, not being in the top 10. So I like their moves. Do I think this puts the Reds over the top to make a
Probably
wild
not.
card spot? No, I don't. But I think getting a cheap third baseman who's an amazing fielder can definitely help you out.
They're only 3 games back. I know San Diego's they're about to sweep the Mets, but they're not far back.
They're not, which is why I'm actually kind of happy the
Yeah.
Reds, unlike previous years where they
Actually
might have
did
blown it
something.
up,
Yeah.
they're actually making some moves that seem like they're trying in the second half of the year.
I would agree.
I
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, no, I like it too because you wouldn't expect this from previous seasons from the Reds. They would not be aggressive like this. So I was actually very surprised. And then you mentioned Rogers, his twin brother Tyler. We acquired him from the Mets from San Francisco. I get it. He's pretty good. He's only 34, 4-3, 180 ERA, 38 strikeouts, 4 walks. He spent all his career actually in San Francisco. He has a career 2.74 ERA in the past 5 years.
Yeah, he's analytics Chad Bradford.
My thing is, we paid a hefty price for this guy. Jose Buto gave out a prospect, Drew Gilbert, outfielder, and then we gave up a right-handed pitching prospect, Blade Tidwell, as well. So we gave up a hefty price for him.
Just to be clear, I've seen Tidwell before. I don't believe he had much success in the pros, but I have seen him on the Mets roster before.
Yeah.
Buto, I know, who I remember had a decent start to his career. Then it kind of was up and down.
He's up and down, yeah.
I believe he was an okay option, but he wasn't really trustworthy. I don't know Gilbert at all. Gilbert's a guy who I just am not aware of because he's in the Mets farm system. Do you know much about him? Is he good?
I've only heard good things about him. He's a lefty. He's a pretty big guy, too. He's over 200. He's a center fielder. He tracks the ball really well. I've heard more good things about his fielding than actually hitting the ball. But He's young. He's 24 years old. I kind of wanted to keep him if I was being honest, but I don't mind the other two. But what was I saying the other day about the trade deadline? The Mets need center fielders. Mets are lacking outfielders, and you give up a prospect like Gilbert, I didn't think was the best move. I thought we gave up a lot for him.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't aware Rogers' ERA was this good this season.
Yeah, 180.
I always thought Rogers was a pretty good reliever. His ERA last year, 2.82, is 3.04 the year prior. That's kind of what I thought he'd be. I mean, 1.8 definitely means the Giants were able to charge a bit extra, just based on his numbers this season. I think he's fine. I'm surprised they gave up 3 players, including Buto, for 1 reliever. But the argument is, if you're going all in, this is your push, you might win the division. We'll see. To go back to the Reds for a second, I think they're only catching the Padres, if anything, because they're not catching Philly and they're not catching Chicago. So I think the Reds miss out personally, but I like the aggressive move because they don't do this that often. Yeah. So I kind of am happy they're making some moves, whether it works out or not. This year, I like it long term. For the Mets move, I don't really know if he's worth all that. But you know what? You got Soto the other day, who is, I'd say, volatile, and you got that full experience against the Padres in the series opener.
Yeah.
The other Soto got injured. So we'll see what they do outfielding-wise with him maybe missing a game or two. I think Soto's fine. I think it was precautionary. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, I think I'm with you. It felt pretty hefty, but we'll see how Rogers looks in a Mets uniform.
And then lastly, I'm just reading up. We just had a trade about a few minutes ago between the Pirates and the managers. Pirates, they are getting Jeter Martinez from the Mariners for Caleb Ferguson. Mariners are getting Caleb Ferguson, just one for one. So...
Okay, so that's just the move that you'll forget about in about 5 minutes because that just doesn't matter.
And then who's the guy who messed up the Aaron Judge to San Francisco tweet?
What you mean Nightingale?
No. It was like John Maruzzi or you know who I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about. Of course, I remember Arson Judge, but I just don't.
Yeah. So he just tweeted Justin Verlander is available on the trade market. Is that? I
saw Dylan Moore was available on the trade market for the Mariners. He's been one of the worst hitters in the entire league. I don't know what that even means. I mean, Verlander's actually been better lately.
He has actually.
So after
we clowned him like 2 weeks ago, he's actually been pretty good.
Yeah, good for him. He got a win. But I do think that Verlander could argue maybe if you're even an injury prone rotation that can still push for something, maybe you can use him in like a spot start role. Even a veteran leader, you can make an argument for it. So that one I think is pretty funny because he's been bad this year, but he has been better lately. The Dylan Moore being available one was the dumbest one because he's been one of the worst hitters in the entire league all season.
Yeah.
And he's a lefty specialist who can hit lefties. So he should be playing in Korea at this point. So I think he might be out of the league next year. He's been that bad this year. So we'll see, but I got nothing else to add for the trade stuff. You got anything else you want to add?
I was just going to ask you, who do you think Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen are gone?
I think Gallen's gone. Kelly might stay.
Where do you think he goes? I had a name for you. What do you think about the Boston Red Sox going after an arm?
I'm not against it because I think Giolito's starting to fall back off a cliff. So it would make sense if you tried to flip it. Nice one with the Red Sox today. I had them on YouTube at plus 112. But they've been good lately. They could use some pitching. I mean, Gallen would have to be a team that's still competing for something. So if I'm making an argument for a team that could maybe make a pitch for him, I'm trying to think if I think Houston makes sense. I think Toronto's fine. Seattle's fine. I mean, you could argue maybe didn't the Cubs could consider it?
Yeah,
like maybe. I'm trying to think of options here. I don't really see many.
Yeah, maybe the Phillies.
That could be an option. Maybe the Padres, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he'll get traded.
And then lastly, Stephen Kwan. Surprised his name has been out there as much as it is.
I heard the Dodgers were interested earlier today.
I heard the Dodgers. I heard the Reds.
Yeah.
I heard the Padres.
Dodgers, though, I have to include separately because their farm system's usually really good.
Yeah.
So I said this morning, we talked about Kwan because I gave him out on the prop show. I think he's going to stay in Cleveland.
I'm surprised his name is out there as much as it is, if I'm being honest.
I think Kwan is a weird player to evaluate in baseball today. Now, it's like a Rise, but he can actually field.
Yeah,
he's a really good fielder, but he doesn't give you much power.
No.
He's a contact hitter.
But he gets on base.
Yes, he does, but I feel like there's a disconnect between what the Guardians think his value is and what other teams think his value is, because with the analytics movements, home runs do matter a lot, whether that's fair or foul. I love Kwan. I'd want him on my team any day of the week. But I think Cleveland is going to want a decent package, and he's under control for next year, too. I think he might be an off-season trade guy. My bold call for that is I think Kwan stays in Cleveland.
That's fair. Yeah, I love Stephen Kwan. I think he's such a good player, but I agree. I think two things could be true. I also think Cleveland thinks his market is higher than what it might actually be.
Kleveland's not the kind of team in years past that'll just dump good players getting an offer they don't like. They're willing to wait it out. I think they'll wait it out again for Kwan. So that's
all I had on the trade.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll break down a bit more tomorrow post-trade deadline. Either way, though, a point is before we get into any of the actual games for the Thursday card, a reminder that the Sports Game Podcast is back with the 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the entire phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 Circa future. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag because available at 10 locations. Use them to bet on baseball, tennis, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. You can also use crypto for fast payouts and use a positive sign-up, though. For a new account, use the code SGPN to get a special 100% doesn't match up to 1K. During and conditions apply with the G promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm because they have power trends which have been really good in WNBA and for baseball. They're the best of the best for what the house model has to offer. And a reminder, for baseball, the win rate 63%. For WNBA, 35 and 20 since launch. Download the app, check out Power Trends, and you can also try it for free for a week by using the free trial. Go to sportscampodcast.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Sportscampodcast.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the, I'd say, trade updates for the baseball, team so far. Time to move on into the very light slate here for Thursday. Moving on to the Rays taking on the Yankees. The Yankees did win the last game. It's been a pretty even series so far. We'll see how it ends up going on Wednesday and Thursday. For this game, though, it's a day game at 1 p.m., the only day game on the card. You have Pepiot taking on Stroman. Now, for the actual money line, Yankees are minus 118. You have Pepiot and the Rays at plus 100. For the over-under, I see 8.5 or 9. Now, Stroman's been very up and down this season. I'd say mostly down, but he had some time off with injury. He came back, and he's been kind of alternating good and bad starts. He was not good against the Phillies last time out, though. 3 2/3, 4 earned. Walked 4 guys as well, so not exactly pitching that well. Pepiot, though, has been pretty good so far this season. 6-8, 3.42 ERA. Basically the same stats at home and on the road. He was very good last outing against the Reds, but the Rays have actually lost 4 straight starts that he's made. For this one, though, I think the Yankees, despite being at home, arguably should not be favored in this game. I'm pretty low on Stroman. I think that Stroman's going to struggle in this spot. Yes, the Rays might trade some guys. You might see a couple of guys maybe scratched either mid-game or pre-game with the expectation of being traded. So maybe you'll see them potentially sit, maybe no Yandy, etc. Maybe they'll end up missing the game. But I think Pepiot's better than Stroman. And the Yankees, I still don't really trust. The bullpen can be a bit dicey. But with the pitching situation for the Yankees being in question, and with Pepiot, in my opinion, being the better starting pitcher, I'll take plus money. I just think minus 118 on Stroman is not something I'm interested in. Give me the Rays.
Yeah, I don't want either team in this matchup. My numbers did make the Yankees favorite, but minus 110 at that. Stroman, I agree, is not someone I really want to back as well. I actually like the over 8.5. I know totals have moved. I see some 9s out there, so it's a little chalky, but money is moving in that direction. My total came out to 9.1. Stroman has given up 2+ runs at home in 4 of his 5 starts in the Bronx, and all 5 of those games have gone into double digits. So I think we're going to see a high-scoring game. I think obviously Pepiot is the better pitcher, but he's also a guy that gives up 2-3 runs himself. You know, I mentioned earlier in the show, Devin Williams has been a little better, but the Yankees still have a bottom 10 bullpen. Volpe continues to make errors. I think we see a 4-4 game going into the 7th, 8th inning. Then we're guaranteed a winner. So it's going to be another hot day here in the city. Balls should be flying. I like the over better than anything.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that too. I think it's a good spot, once again, for what you could see is some interesting and competitive baseball in terms of runs and lack of proper pitching. Tampa's bullpen hasn't been great either.
No.
So you might see this game blow up a bit later, but I don't mind that too. Moving on to the next game. Speaking of the Reds from earlier, they take on the Braves, a team that definitely should be trading away half their team because this team sucks. Acuna's now injured. He's in a walking boot, so he'll be out for a while. You're looking at the Reds, though, with Abbott pitching against we don't know. For the actual pricing in this game, the Reds are minus 160. The Braves are plus 135. The over-under is set at around 9.5. So first glance, 9.5 feels very high with Abbott pitching and with the Braves offense being a mess recently. I like the under in the game. Yes, you could argue Reds minus 1.5 is intriguing too because the Braves are a joke. But I think that total's really high. Abbott can shove, and the Reds offense has been up and down basically all year. So I don't mind the under in this game. But I also don't mind the Reds minus 1.5. If you want to go for the run line in this game, you can find that available at around plus 130. It's a great price on Abbott. I'll go for that. Give me the minus 1.5 and the under in the game.
Yeah, I don't mind the minus 1.5 at plus 130. There's just no way anybody I think should be back in the Braves at this point. They stink. Acuna, he's hurt again. So there goes most of their offense, and now they get Andrew Abbott, who's great at home. 4-1. He has a 1.93 ERA in Cincinnati. He hasn't allowed more than 1 run at home in 4 straight starts as well. So I just think this is a really bad spot for the Braves offense. They struggle on the road to begin with. They're only hitting 230 against lefties. Their bullpen stinks. You said TBD. I think MLB.com says Cookie Carrasco. So I think it's Carlos Carrasco making his first start for the Braves.
That's not ideal, to be honest.
Hasn't been good all year. I mean, you should know he didn't really give the Yankees good length. He gives up the long ball. I just don't think this is a good start for him either. Reds are a good team at home, and offensively, I know they've been up and down this season, but they can produce runs at home in a very hitters-friendly ballpark. So, yeah, I wouldn't advise people betting on the Braves. It's plus 130 or nothing here for the Reds for me.
Team's terrible. And once again, Acuna's out. Ozuna might get traded. This offense might be scrapped parts at this point. So we'll see what happens.
It was weird. I don't know if you were watching the game. I always watch him because I had money on it, but he was running to the wall, and it just kind of looked like he started limping real quick. I don't know what he was doing, but
I'm trying to remember how he tore his ACL. That was non-contact, or did he bump
yes, it
into
was
a
not
wall?
caught. He ran into the wall.
It was the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a
Looked a bit
grade
weird.
1 strain, I think they came out and said, so they're gonna shut him down for a little bit.
Yeah, and based on how the season's going, it might be a long time. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to the last game on the card. Once again, a very short slate. You have the Rangers taking on the Mariners. We have no lines in this game, but you have Rocker against Kirby. Both teams really did not look very good for the last few days. The Mariners ended up losing the game yesterday to the A's. They've been alternating wins and losses for about a week straight. For the Rangers, they have been getting destroyed by the Angels over the last few days. Rocker's been pretty up and down this season, and Kirby has been quite underwhelming. I think Kirby's a better pitcher, but you are looking at Rocker, who has been underwhelming since coming into the league, basically. His ERA on the road is 9.91. He gave up 3 earned in 4 innings against that Braves team that we said stinks about a minute ago. What do you like in this game? I don't have any lines, but I think I like Kirby more than Rocker. I
Yeah.
don't really trust either, so I don't mind the over, but I guess I'll go Seattle, but I don't know the lines.
Yeah, no lines. I did make the Mariners a -160 favorite here at home. I like George Kirby. Obviously, he's the better pitcher. He's been up and down this season, but I think honestly he's been a little unlucky. I think the way he's way better than his numbers have shown in the past 2 months. I think he's only had one, maybe two poor outings. Other than that, I think he's been fine. He gives them good length. He usually goes around 6 innings, a lot of ground balls. Walks can be an issue, but I don't think it's going to be an issue here in this spot. Texas, they're 24th in the league in walks per game, but I guess the main reason I don't like the Rangers, you can't back them. One, you've been saying they've been getting beat up by the Angels, and Kumar Rocker, he's terrible on the road. 9.91 ERA, batters hitting 354 off of him. They've lost 6 of his 7 road starts. He's only gone past the 5th inning one time this season. Walks are a problem. Mariners, they already have a win off of him early in the season already. So, yeah, no lines. I made my total 7.6. So I don't know about the total. I would take the Mariners or pass for me. You can't back the Rangers right
Yep, I agree. It's going to wrap it up for all the games. Anything else you want to add?
now. Are we doing lock and dog? It's on
Yeah,
2K.
we're gonna do lock and dog anyway. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
nothing. That's about it.
All right, cool. So before we get into the lock and dog picks, a reminder they're brought to you by Circa because they're still hosting 3 of the biggest NFL contests for the upcoming season: Circa Million, Circa Survivor, Circa Grandissimo, over 21 million in guaranteed prizes. Can't call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend from August 21st to 23rd for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off your stay at Circa with the code SGP15. Contest open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by fans because they're doing Best Mania happening all summer long. Give away 15 million in prizes, 2 million for first place. No waiver wire, no trade arguments. Best ball's best way to play fantasy football. Underdog's also a great place to play Pick'em. We're going up to 500 times your entry. When you sign up, though, for your new account, use the code MLB SGPN to get a special pick and first time visit offer up to 1K in bonus cash. Our fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all the games on the card. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, what do you like as your lock and dog for the very, very limited card on Thursday?
Very, very limited card. As my lock, I'll take the over in the Rays and Yankees. Like you mentioned, Tampa's bullpen hasn't been that good either. I think we could see a high scoring game between these two pitchers. So I'll take the over 8.5 as my lock. And then my dog, you mentioned it, amazing price off a team that is selling and just kind of waving the white flag here. I'll take the Rays at plus 130 as my dog. Abbott has been a beast at home, and I just don't see where this offense is going to come from for Atlanta. So yeah, I'll take the plus 130 as my dog.
All right. So for my lock, I I mean I think I basically have to go with the Reds. I mean the value is definitely there on the -1.5. I actually do see Carrasco did just get listed on ESPN. That makes me like the Reds even more.
They
Just to
stink.
make sure here.
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you say your lock was again? It was the over in the Rays game?
Yeah, the over in the Rays and Yankees.
All right. You know what? I'll do something a bit different because I can. For the lock, Give me the Reds minus 1.5 at
Mm.
plus 130. I'm going to swing for it. I think it's a good price. I think it's a great deal. I think that line's going to plummet, so I'd get that now, especially if Atlanta's going to trade some people tomorrow. So give me the Reds minus 1.5 as my lock for the show. For my dog, you know what? I'll get weird with it. I don't trust Stroman. I think Pepe, it's okay. Let's get weird. Give me the Rays minus 1.5 at plus 155 as my dog. I think it's a good price. I think that Stroman can get shelled. Pepe can go okay. Yes, the Rays might be trading some people, so we'll see what happens. But the Yankees, despite winning, always make it an adventure. That's not a good thing.
No.
Give me the Rays minus 1.5 at plus 155 as my
Ooh,
dog.
I love it. You can get the Rays straight up at plus 102 as well.
Yeah, I have the lock, though. I'm not going to have the lock being a higher plus money.
Yeah, no, I
than the
know. I'm
dog,
just saying if
so-
you want to take the Reds, because I know you were taking them straight up earlier in the cap.
Yeah, so that's how I'm going to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to talk about?
I just don't understand Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero, federal charges. That's so sad.
I mean, in reality, wasn't there a movie about that, like Molly's Game? Wasn't that basically the same thing?
I've never heard of that. What is that?
Isn't Molly's Game when that redheaded woman basically housed a poker game at her place, and she was like willing to host high rollers and they would play poker? I think Tobey Maguire was in that movie, actually.
Shout out Toby.
Yeah. Either way, though, I feel like that's what Arenas did. I thought he was hosting like a pretty high stakes poker game in his own mansion.
Yeah, but apparently the charges is one count of conspiracy to operate illegal gambling business, one count of operating illegal gambling business, one count of making false statements.
No,
So-
I get it. It
Yeah.
sounds like he was housing his own casino, and
He's crazy.
and the I'd say government wasn't taking too kind of it because he wasn't paying taxes,
Of course, yeah.
and I'm sure he had no actual license to operate. So, look, Arenas is an idiot,
He is.
even in his career. Brought guns to a locker room. He got arrested trying to transport fireworks from different states a couple years ago on July 4th. I remember that. And then he has this issue. This one, to be honest, I'll give him a bit of a pass for, because I've been to house poker rooms before. I don't have any issues with house poker rooms, but I know that they're technically illegal. But I'm pro gambling.
Yeah,
So-
I'm pro gambling too, but he's taking a cut from each pot.
Yeah, that was the issue, was the rate
Yeah.
that he was providing, which
No, I get
was
it.
also the case in pretty much every house room you're going to have. So, look, I'm not going to really roast Gilbert that much for this type of crime, because I support him with this type of crime. I think he's an idiot, but I'm not going to criticize a guy with his own poker room. Like, I think there's a market there. That was in Boiler Room too. Like, I'm not gonna criticize him for it that much. But Gilbert Arenas getting arrested numerous times,
It doesn't surprise.
Does
Yeah.
feel very, very on brand for Gilbert Arenas.
They said if convicted, he could sentence a maximum of 5 years.
Yeah, he's not going to prison.
No.
He'll
But
he'll pay a massive fine,
probation,
and then
maybe.
some community service in there,
Yeah.
and that's basically it. But
But
no.
the prosecutors, I'm reading like the charge. Prosecutors said they hired chefs, valets, armed security, as well as women to serve drinks, provide massages.
that sounds
this-
like every poker room, but it sounds very high end.
Sounded lit.
Hey, tip him
honestly.
with poker chips.
Yeah.
I'm more upset I didn't know about the poker room.
We weren't invited, bro.
I didn't bankroll to probably be in that room anyway.
Yeah,
But
no, we know.
that sounds like a very nice poker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have gone.
I bet his friends are mad.
That's why I can't really criticize Arenas, because if I had the chance, I would have gone to the poker room. So I can't be too mad at him.
No, I get it. I get it. It's just,
And you're
it's
saying
just
that-
funny.
And you're saying though they had women going around, so they had cocktail waitresses and massage
Yeah.
people, which they do in every regular poker room.
Exactly.
But they had chefs. They had food. That's incredible. I would have gone
Probably-
to that.
Probably the food was probably so fucking good.
That's a hell of a setup he's got there.
Armed security,
Yeah.
valet, bro. It sounded.
I mean,
lit.
that's how you know you had serious money rolling in, though.
Oh,
'Cause you
yeah.
needed armed security. So
Yeah.
it was a heavy duty type of poker room. But once again, I would have gone if I was invited. So I can't criticize Arenas that much for it.
They say Charles Barkley's a big gambler.
Did I tell you the story of how I met Barkley one time?
No, were you at one of his tables? Because he said he says he doesn't really play with like anybody but his friends.
So it was back when I was around 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
And Jordan was doing his golf tournament in the Bahamas, and of course Barkley and Jordan were friends back then. They're not friends now, but they were very good friends, obviously. So I'm in the casino, and I see Derek Jeter.
At 9 years old, you're in the casino?
They designed the hotel as making the casino the hub of the entire hotel.
Okay.
So they have different buildings, and to get from one building to the other, you have to cross through the casino.
Okay.
There's no other pathway. So it's, of course, a scam
Yeah.
to get all the adults to cross through the casino.
Yeah.
They'll stop and gamble.
They had that at Trump Plaza down in Atlantic City. I always used to have to walk through the casino, and I was like, I'll fucking play.
Yes, but the point is you can't stop the underage people from walking through because they have to walk through.
Correct.
They can't linger.
Correct.
But they have to walk through. So I'm walking through, and there are a lot of high-end celebrities there, a lot of A-list guys. I see Jeter at the blackjack table. So I walk over to Jeter. He's with Ahmad Rashad. He's with a couple people.
Wow.
And I get Jeter's autograph. They're playing. They're
sick.
playing like 1,000 or 5,000 per hand in blackjack. Like they're going crazy for it. So I get his autograph. I walk back, and my dad goes, "So yeah, you got Barkley's autograph too, right?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, two seats down, Barkley was sitting next to Jeter. I completely just stiffed him. I didn't notice it was Barkley.
Wow.
I was so distracted by Jeter that I did not realize I actually was just right next to Charles Barkley. And he was heavy, Charles Barkley. He's still heavy now, but he was like 300 back then.
He was still in the league, right?
No, he was not still in the league, but that was definitely pre-Jenny Craig sponsorship. Like, he was still like 300 plus pounds. He was massive at that point. But yeah, so I technically did not meet Barkley, but I was within 3 feet of Barkley, and I completely just missed him because I got so distracted by Jeter.
So many questions. One, what were the odds of you and your family being in the Bahamas as same time as all these celebrities?
We started timing it out. We went 1 year, and we didn't know about it. And then Jordan kept doing his golf tournament every year in Atlantis. So we kept intentionally going back every time. So we knew because they were all staying at the hotel. So the first year was a pure coincidence. We went probably another 2 times because of the golf tournament, and we got autographs, whatever. So I think that was the first time. We didn't know, and Jeter was just there.
Second question, do you still have the autograph? You better.
Yes. If you give me a second, I could probably pull it out.
Yeah, pull it out. I want to see it.
All right, give me a second. In the meantime, you can talk so I don't have any dead air.
Yeah, I got you. That's fucking crazy. I mean, Derek Jeter, as a Met fan, that is my favorite player, and he has an autograph. Wow. Going to Atlantis with your family and not realizing all these A-list celebrities are going to be there has to be fucking wild to me. And then him just stiffing Charles Barkley. One, do you think he'd go back and go and get the autograph?
All right, so I have a full box of random playing cards, and you see a bunch of pieces of paper on top. I keep all my autographs there too. So I'll just run through whatever I have.
Yeah, please.
From the Bahamas. So let me see what I got. And the first one I pulled out was Derek Jeter.
Wow.
So
what did he sign it on?
It's on the back of an Atlantis mailing address piece of paper.
Wow. And so it just says Derek Jeter?
Yeah. It's Derek Jeter.
That's sick.
So I have Derek Jeter here. I got CC Sabathia here.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer now. What else do I have?
Any basketball players?
I have Joe Morgan.
Okay.
R.I.P. Also Hall of Famer. I got John Smoltz.
Oh, sick.
Also Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame.
He's a big golfer. I didn't know that back then. I got Ozzie Smith.
Oh, nice.
Let me see what else I got. This is probably my most prized one. I have 2 on 1 piece of paper, and this is Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull.
Wow. Where'd you see them? Same thing?
They were at Atlantis, but they were at dinner together. So I actually was able to get both their autographs.
Everyone needs to be going to Atlantis.
Well, they moved it to Vegas. I don't know if they still do it anymore. But as you can see here, it says the Cove Atlantis. So,
yeah.
But I got Gretzky and Brett Hull there. What else do I have? I got Mike Piazza, who was with his Playboy model wife at the time.
Shout
So
out
that was a bonus.
Best hitting catcher of all time.
Either him or Bench, but yes. And then what else did I have here? Yeah, and my last one's an actor. I got Samuel L. Jackson.
That's pretty cool. Where'd you get that? Atlantis?
That was also at Atlantis.
Oh my
they all have a piece
God.
of paper that say Atlantis on it. And that's
I've
my
only
collection.
gotten that last question. Do you regret not getting Charles Barkley?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I knew who Barkley was. I'm just an
Yeah.
idiot. I ignored the at the time 330-pound guy who was a seat down from Jeter. I just didn't notice.
Your dad was like, this fucking kid.
I was starstruck. I'm looking at Jeter and I'm like this 9-year-old kid. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
my sister, she
I was actually 12 at the time because that goes back to how I helped the Yankees win the World Series, but that's a separate story.
My sister, she danced like tap and jazz growing up. So we went to all these competitions, and I was around the same age, maybe like 10, 11 years old. In the hotel we were staying at the White Sox hotel. And this was back when the White Sox were good. And we were and I had no idea I was staying at the White Sox hotel. So in the front concierge, me and my dad were bringing in all the bags. Here comes AJ Przinsky. Get AJ Przinsky's autograph. Oh, that's my favorite.
That's one of the toughest last names to actually spell. I actually have a couple more that I forgot about. You said basketball. I got Dr. J.
Dude, what? You might have a serious collection, Scott.
This one is actually a receipt for the Atlantis pizza place, and it says that it was January 21st, 2009, as you can see here. And on the back of it, I got Lawrence Taylor.
R.I.P.
Which I've told the story about many times, how I thought that he was a really, really mean human being.
Really?
And the one time I met him. But either way, I got his autograph there. So that's my collection. So yes, I also have a Dr. J, and I have Lawrence Taylor that I forgot about. And Samuel Jackson. So that's my collection.
Lawrence.
Those are all a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. But why have we never heard about this collection of yours?
Well, this dates back to my story, though, because with the date saying 2009, I've told stories before how I helped the Yankees win the World Series by convincing A.J. Burnett to join the Yankees, which was in 2009. So it's
Did
actually
you get his autograph?
I think I did. It's somewhere in here. I definitely got at least a photo with him. I'm trying to remember. But either way,
what'd you tell him?
But the Yankees, he was a free agent at the time.
Yeah.
And he was torn between the Yankees and Toronto. And the waiter at a restaurant introduced me to him because I was wearing a Yankees hat at the time. So he introduced me because he's at like a table 2 down, whatever. And he was very nice. He just let me sit down and talk to him about baseball for like an hour.
Wow.
So he showed me his camera roll. He had photos of him traveling with Andrew Jones, who was also a future Yankee at the time.
Yeah.
He was with his fiance at the time, I think. And I just talked to him about baseball. I mentioned his stats. I said he should go to the Yankees. He signed with the Yankees and won the World Series. So
you should get a ring.
I don't know about a ring, but Burnett did get a win in a World Series game.
Because of you.
Yeah, so I take credit for it.
100%. It's because of you.
Yeah, but once again, the Lawrence Taylor autograph receipt does prove and date my stay. January 2009, which was during the offseason. It was right after winter meetings in baseball. And Burnett was there, so I convinced him to go to the Yankees.
One real quick, I used to deliver like food to just like it was like a pizza boy back in college, just making some extra money. Mm-hmm. I went to college down in Maryland. You know, you speaking of awful people, John Wall is the worst person in the world.
Really?
Yes.
Did you deliver pizza to John Wall?
John Wall. And he got like 2-3 pies for like the family. Some, I think, like garlic knots, like a couple 2 liters. It was probably like a $60, $70 bill. Guess how much he tipped? And this is after he just got the bag, after that huge contract.
$4.
It's like $3-4.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Scumbag.
By the way, just quickly looking up something, because you said something before, which I had to confirm. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor is not dead.
No, I know. I realized that. Once I said that, I looked it up and I was like, oh, he's only 64.
No, I'm saying he's not dead. He went to jail for prostitution, but that's not death. That happened like a couple years after the fact when I got his autograph. But
damn, prostitution?
Yeah.
He
went to jail for that. But once again, he's had a lot of demons in his past. My autograph when I got it, it's actually probably dated on this thing, but it was at the hotel bar right after I went for the food. So this is 2:25 p.m. So yeah, it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He was hammered, and I got his autograph, and he was drunk as can be at the hotel bar, and he basically signed the autograph receipt that I gave him, and he chucked it at me, and I walked away.
You have to start going to Vegas now and going to this golf outing. Like, this should be a ritual for you, bro.
It really should. I was a pretty decent autograph collector. I got stiff-armed by Johnny Damon's bodyguard.
Wow.
Damon was checking into the hotel with 2 security guards. Just hit me with a full-on stiff arm to the face, trying to get an autograph.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers stiff arm a couple autograph people?
I did not.
Camp? He goes, "I know who you are. You're going to sell that." And he just doesn't sign the autographs.
Was the guy going to sell it? Because
he was a bit older than the kids.
Okay.
So it was a fair point, but I'm just saying, like,
I get it though. I mean, the argument is if you're trying to do it for the memory of giving a kid an autograph compared to I'm going to flip this. It's like that Wemby jersey. That kid tried to flip the Wemby jersey for like $70K right afterwards, and it got back to Wemby, and they decided to keep the jersey. They got peer pressure into keeping it, but still, like, it's more about the memory.
Shout out us. 3 games, and we lasted 52 minutes.
Yeah, we got into a whole story here, but I have a full collection, but I wouldn't sell the Lawrence Taylor autograph. I got a story out of it.
No, I wouldn't sell any of them.
No, it's about the experience.
Yeah, give them to your kid down the road, bro. Fuck that.
I'm kind of annoyed, though. I definitely should have AJ Burnett somewhere, unless Burnett gave me a photo instead.
Still.
I'm trying to remember.
You helped them win a World Series.
This one starts with an A. This is AJ Burnett. This is a 34.
To Scott.
Best wishes. It's AJ Burnett.
Best wishes, AJ Burnett.
And I ripped it off some random small piece of paper. That was the hardest part, was trying to find random pieces of paper.
Did you always have a pen on you?
I would go downstairs, and the hotel had, like, the notepad in the hotel room. Yeah. So I would take the notepad down with me with the pen, and I would just rip off pages when I got autographs. But yeah, that was the AJ Burnett one. So there we go.
Wow. Shout out you, man.
Yeah. So I was collecting in my day. I was hustling back then when I was 12.
As they say.
I take partial responsibility for that ring in 2009.
You should.
So there you go. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.